Hello, everyone. Mario, Mr. Makuk, what's going on? It's been a minute, right? It's been a while since we've been able to do iGoat chat. If you're hearing me, give me a thumbs up. If you're still there and you're hearing us, give us a thumbs up. Jay, that's a nice welcome back. Thank you. Um, Things have been hectic, challenging for us to get iGoat chat going these past few weeks. Um, O'Neill, what's going on, boss? Howard, I see our faithfuls are here. Want to give thanks for that, and thank you all for coming. Thank you all for joining us, Vivian. So um, tonight, since we haven't done this in a while, we have I have a special guest with me, and every once in a while, this guest has to come through to build me up and make I go chat, get a little hype. So without further ado, let's welcome the amazing Trudy Wilson and let's wish her a happy belated birthday. Miss Wilson, what's going on? I can't hear you. Can you guys hear her? Cause I can't hear her. I can't
How
hear you.
about now?
I can hear you now.
Maybe if I unmute myself, that would help.
Okay. Yeah, that would help. Um,
Okay. All right. So everybody, happy belated. Oh, thank you very much. Hey guys. I'm gonna do with that one headpiece in thing today.
okay.
Loud and clear. Thanks, Mario. Hey Cruz. Hi. We're trying to figure this all out here. So, how's it been? It's been a while.
It's been a minute,
Yes.
especially for you being on camera. It's been a minute that you haven't graced us with your lovely presence on camera. That is, people know, everybody knows you're always in the background.
Always in the background.
So we're not gonna be too worried about that.
hmm
But happy belated birthday.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It was a good day. Oh, we're getting horns.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thanks, Howard. We missed you guys too. And I should say, thank everybody for all their birthday greetings yesterday. It was amazing. Everybody was showering me with love and, affection. And I felt every bit of it, guys. So I truly, truly appreciated every gesture of birthday greetings yesterday and today. So thank you very much.
Okay. How was your birthday? If you care to share with the
How
iPhone
was
family.
it?
Mm-hmm.
It was good. It's more of I guess you get to a certain stage in life where it's about being more relaxing, more than exciting or a lot of activity. So it was more on the relaxing speed. I did have to work in the morning, which is fine. Luckily, it's one of the customers that I'm pretty cool with, and it was good. We had a great working session. But in the afternoon was spent actually visiting a winery and hanging out there, and going to see Christmas lights and falls and a fabulous dinner and flowers and gift cards and all kinds of stuff. So it was great. And lots of calls. Lots and lots of calls. So it was awesome.
All right. Well,
Mr.
that's good. I see Howard said we were missed. I go chat was missed. Um, do we have any kids on the birthday? What is that? Did any kids on
Kids
your
on
birthday?
birthday.
No,
Mm-mm.
not this year. Last year you had a couple kids on your birthday, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
last year.
Yes. 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 We sure did.
Yeah,
We
last year there
definitely
was
did.
a couple.
I forgot
There
about that for a second, but
was
we
two mothers had
definitely
kids
did.
on your birthday last year. This year, no. This year, everybody's
Not this year.
most
It's
people
not this
do
year.
the end of November and December, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. So Jenny said, "Wow, we have double hosts." Yes, Mr. Henry, Judy decided to grace us with her presence today.
We have to switch it up every so often, right? Keep everybody interested.
Yeah, we gotta give thanks.
We have
We
to.
gotta give thanks. Okay, so hey Randy, welcome back. Quality Farms, welcome. So tonight, truly, tonight I want to talk about the import in animals in goats into Jamaica. Let's be specific. Goats and sheep, small ruminants in Jamaica, and what it it entails. We we've been going through. I should say actually you, because you're the one doing most of all of this, if not all of it, our inquiry into importing animals. You've taken the lead on this. You're the one dealing with all the people at the VSD, and we figured, as we always do, our experiences navigating, dealing with goat business in Jamaica, we figure we'll share
Hmm.
what this experience has been like, and so we can help other farmers who want to go down that road, right? Because really and truly, we see now that somebody say, "Yo, the floodgate open, then fly the gate." All kinds of terms are being used. Know that it seems like a protocol has been set on how to import animals. The procedures been standardized, all that. But I don't see anybody actually telling us, telling people how to do it and what
Actually,
it.
no. Khalil did put out a video. He did. Khalil put out a YouTube. So we're getting it from several different angles. So he did put one out. Other than that,
Okay,
I don't remember seeing anything else. It was a while ago though, but he did
yeah,
put something out.
yeah. So we figure we will share our experience. We have a permit. We've issued. We've applied for a permit, and this past week, last week, we were approved, right?
Like 2 weeks ago.
I don't know how long it is. It's felt like last week. Um, it's been approved.
Hmm.
Am I correct? So,
Yay!
so yeah, give Trudy, you know what I mean? Enough props for that. I have nothing to do with it. Let me be very clear. I think the only thing I've done is answer Trudy's questions and things. She took full control of this. She dealt with them. She did the application. She asked me to look at it to see if everything is correct. I screwed it up a couple of times, so I don't think she wants me to look at it again. And we got a permit, so people can go spread the word now. The Canberra Ranch have a
As
permit.
if they haven't started already, probably.
Yeah, because I've gotten calls. So they can go spread the word that we got permit, um, and we will continue to share our process. Right, we will continue to share how we're going about this, where we are in the process, and our challenges.
Hmm.
And I'm sure there has been challenges, and there'll continue to be some challenges.
Hmm.
However, Judy, let me give you an opportunity to talk about your interaction with the VSD, the people over there.
Actually, my interaction with the VSD, Veterinary Services Division, never assumed that everybody knows every acronym, all right?
Oh,
But the Veterinary Services Division has been phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Everybody that I've talked to has been extremely helpful and patient and explain processes. whenever you send any kind of communication, they respond. I even have WhatsApp messages and texts, and yeah, very extremely, extremely responsive and informational. They give a lot of information and basically guide you through the process. If you have any kind of challenges, they'll say, okay, no, don't do this. Make sure you do this. Make sure you cover this here. Make sure you have this bit of information. So it's been a very, very pleasant experience. Very, very pleasant. And even the whole experience of submitting the application, when I submitted everything, at first I thought, okay, it's going to be a while before we ever hear anything. And to be honest, guys, it was within usually about 48 hours you had a response, whether it was approved or denied. So let me tell you that I had some times when I went back, I had to go back and redo it. But either way, whatever that response is, has typically been within about 48 hours. So again, so it gives you a good sense of the process, how relatively smoothly, provided of course you do everything and provide all the information that they need, it goes relatively smoothly. So, and I've not
Okay,
had any challenges.
so let me ask you this question: if there's anything that you found during the process of dealing with them doing the application, is there any areas in there that you would point out to our participants here on something they should pay close attention to, just to save them the hassle or the fact that we have to go do it 2 or 3 times?
The main
The application itself.
Okay, so the main thing would be is to be very clear and know exactly what you're trying to do. Mainly, for example, the number of animals you want to bring in, the types that you want to bring in, the different types of breeds, how many males versus how many females within each breed. So if I'm bringing in Boer, how many Boer males, Boer females, Nubian males, Nubian females. You always have to be specific there, as well as and I'm going to try to go online and actually show you guys the screen, because a lot of times it's just the whole not knowing what to expect, and it kind of gives you that anxiety. Actually, I like Mr. Henry's comment here, because I think we all kind of felt the same thing. Oh, it's a government, we don't know what to do. It's this whole anxiousness of working with the government, what it's going to be like. And to be honest, and that's really one of the reasons why we really wanted to do this, is because we wanted to let everybody know, don't be scared. Don't. Okay. It's a great process to work with and great people to work with. But to go back to your question, the main thing is be very clear on the number of animals and the specific breed per animal that you want to bring in. You also have to be clear on one of the things you have to show is the unit of quantity. You have to make sure it says animals, not ampules. Yes, I did that. Okay, that goes to trying to get stuff in too fast to move on to something else, and I wasn't paying attention. So yes, you have a drop down menu where you have to state the quantity of what you're bringing in. So for example, but you have to specify what that quantity is. In this case, would be animals, right? And so that's one thing that I messed up on. And then the other thing that you have to be clear on is your weight per group, per either male or female. So if I'm bringing in 5 Nubian females, I have to quantify or estimate what the weight is for all 5 of those animals. And then if I'm bringing in 2 Nubian males, I have to estimate what the weight is of both of those animals as well. So those would be the main things. Also, you have to specify where you're getting it from, right? Who is your supplier, who you're working with in this
Okay,
case,
but
US.
okay, wait, before we go that far, before
Okay.
we get into that, okay, we're gonna dig into art within this subject,
Okay.
right? Let's start off with, if I am a farmer that's thinking about bringing in animals,
Mm-hmm.
I think there's something you need to do first and foremost, is to understand what's the requirement. What are the requirements the government has? Like, what are the requirements you must meet in order for these animals to make it to Jamaica, right? Am I correct?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. You have to. I'm
And
sorry, I got sidetracked because I'm trying to do something else in the background here while you're talking.
and and earlier last year or sometime, the government did issue
Mhm.
did a document early in the year, they did issue a document. I'm going to try to share this document. I take myself. Hello, are you guys hear me? So this document right here, you can find the document on their website, on the Ministry of Agriculture website. And this document will tell you what they require. It tells you everything you need to know about the importation process, right? So it's very important that you familiarize yourself with this document before you make the application. Are you there, Trudy?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah.
What I would also recommend, because if the average person reads this document, it's going to go over their head because it's a lot of high level technical slash agricultural information. However, the person that you're working with to help
Hmm.
you get your goats, I would send this to them because these are the requirements that they have to make sure that the animals meet once they source them to come to Jamaica. So it's probably better. I mean, yeah, you should be familiar with it too, but you definitely need the person that you've selected to find your animals. They also need to be familiar with this information because that's what they're going to have to follow when they select animals on your behalf.
Yeah, that's correct. Um, uh, Mr. Henry wants to know if you can do it as an individual or you have to do it as a registered company. So here's the deal with this. With as a person, if you are doing it as an individual, then you should um, register yourself as a self-employed individual. You should be operating as a as an entrepreneur, as a self-employed person, whether it's in the if you're a farmer or whatever it is, right? And you should have a TCC, a tax compliance certificate, because anytime you're importing animals in Jamaica, to go through that application process to get the permit, they require a TCC. I I for sure, I don't know for sure if it really comes into play, but it is on the application that you put in a
It
TCC.
is an optional field, though. It doesn't list it as a required field. It's listed as an optional field, the TCC
Yes,
information. Hmm.
yeah. So there you go. So farmers may be getting a easier go at this than if you're importing a car or something else, right? Because if you're importing a car in Jamaica, you can't get it without a TCC. You can't get the permit, right?
I don't know about cars. I haven't done cars.
Really?
Oh, you're right. You're right. Yes, with a car you do. Oops,
All right.
oops. Forgot
As
about
a,
that little episode.
I am pretty sure we had a challenge getting a
Yes,
permit to
you're
get
right.
a car
I
in.
totally forgot about it. I wasn't even thinking. I'm still trying to figure out my technical stuff back here. That's why I'm kind of a little bit distracted a little bit. So sorry, guys. Go ahead. Yes, you do need it
Yes.
for a vehicle, but not.
Yeah.
It's optional for the animals. There you
Yeah.
go.
So, Mr.
Sorry.
Henry, as a sole trader, yeah, the application, as we said, does have where you put in a TCC number. However, she says it's optional. So farmers are getting, look like they're getting a fly on this. They're getting a pass on that. Yeah, Trudy's still celebrating, yes. Cheers to Trudy.
Yeah, so I'm
Um,
distracted. I'm still celebrating back here. Is that what it is?
yeah, yeah. So familiarize yourself with this document, and as Trudy said, you have to make sure your source is very familiar with this document because that's what Jamaica standard is, especially dealing with the USD. So understanding the requirement, right? That's very important. And it goes without saying, if you're gonna go into something, might as well you know what you're doing. You should have a full understanding of what are the do's, what are the don'ts. As we're saying, we've been preaching this for years. We've been preaching it. Register your farm, register your operation. Even if you're an individual, register as such so you can get the benefits. You can take advantage of things in the system. You know, that's one of the reasons for registering your business or operating as a sole proprietor, whatever it is. You can take advantage of these things. Okay, so let's talk about sourcing animals in the US. So now that you decide you're gonna do it, you will go on their website to see what's needed, what the criteria is. Um, you find yourself somebody in the US. Judy, what are the different aspects of this process of finding the animals? What are the different things that go into it to get the animals to Jamaica?
Okay, so first of all, again, going back to the import requirements. So you
Hmm.
definitely need to find that document and find someone in the US that can meet those requirements. First, can help you look for animals, healthy animals, first of all, and then that the animals can actually meet those requirements as well as meet your requirements. It doesn't make sense to spend a lot of money doing something if the animals are not going to meet your requirements. So once you submit that to them, then you'd have to tell them, give them an idea of what your budget is, which is very important. What's your budget? How much are you willing to spend? And then what the animal, the actual specific animal requirements are that you want. Don't just tell them, just find whatever. No, you need to have an idea of why are you actually even doing this? What are the purpose? What's the purpose of these animals? So you really need to zero in on and hone in on what the requirements are that you're looking for your animals and give that to the person who's actually sourcing them for you. And it's going to need to be an open line of communication because there's going to be a lot of back and forth. Okay, I found this, does it meet your requirement? Okay, no, I don't really like that. And okay, how about, can you find this? And always ask, we always suggest that you ask for pictures and videos, just like you do here in Jamaica. Do the same thing. Ask for pictures and videos so you can get a good sense of what that animal looks like, how that animal is moving and functioning, and it, again, does it meet your requirement? Because it's not a cheap endeavor. Let's just go ahead and throw that out there. It's not a cheap endeavor by any means. So you definitely want to make sure that they're going to meet your requirements, and then that you also want to make sure that the individual or company that's actually sourcing your animals for you, they have the facilities. Either they have facilities themselves or access to the facilities in order for them to manage this whole entire process, because it takes some time of gathering the animals, figuring out where they're going to go, figuring out where they're going to be housed, who's going to feed them, who's going to take care of them,
And that's
making
during the
sure.
quarantine process because they're
Yeah.
quarantined for 30
Well, even
days,
before you get to the
60
quarantine
days.
process, the whole
Hmm.
process of gathering them together is
Hmm.
definitely something to think about there. So we're not at the quarantine process yet, but I'm just thinking, talking in general, does that person have the facilities to basically coordinate the logistics of gathering all these animals and housing them in a particular location before we actually get to the whole entire export process and quarantine facility in the US before the
Okay.
quarantine facility, quarantine requirements in Jamaica?
Okay. So there's a question here: do you have do they have a limitation on which country animals are shipped from? I think on the application it asks you where the animals are coming from, and
Hmm.
I think at this point I think it's only the U.S. and Canada that has um, they have freedom to import from, right?
Is Canada approved? I thought it was just the US
Oh,
for
maybe I'm wrong.
animals.
Maybe
Huh?
I'm wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was just the US for animals.
Yeah,
I thought so.
yeah,
But guys, we don't have all the answers. We're
yeah.
just
We're
giving
just
you the
telling you guys
information that we know.
what we
Okay,
know
so
and what how
if we
things
say something
affected
and
us.
you guys know otherwise, like we always say, we don't have all the answers. We just try to share things from our experience and our knowledge. So if there's something that we just said wrong or you know something different, please jump in and let us know. But
Yeah.
the last understanding I had was actually I thought it was just the US. But if I'm wrong on that, please let me know.
Okay. Okay. So then, after we, let's say, we find somebody who can source all these animals, somebody who can get the animals together in one place. Um, if that person doesn't have all the animals themselves, if they have to source them from different farms, they have to have the ability to house them together before the quarantine process starts, right?
Yes. They have to have the ability to house them, take care of them, feed them, making sure they're fine until it is time for the importation process. And again, when you once you give them all that documentation as far as the import requirements, they should know the required time frame and what it's going to take to get it done. So
That
we
includes
typically recommend. Go ahead.
that includes the quarantine and all the vaccinations, all the testing, all of that, right?
Yes,
Because
yes. I don't know.
The
Go ahead.
USDA also have their own standards that has to be met,
Hmm. There
and
are U.S. export requirements as well.
they coordinate with the Jamaican requirements in order to
Yes,
make everything works.
absolutely. It's a whole wait, it's a
A trade
coordination of all.
agreement.
No. It has nothing to do with a free trade agreement. It has to do with U.S. export requirements and Jamaican import requirements. Has nothing to do with a free trade agreement.
Okay, so why is the USDA making sure Jamaica requirements are met?
It's it's one of those things where you coordinate with different countries because it doesn't make sense to export something from one country if it's not going to be able to enter another country. And for U.S. export requirements, there are also requirements that U.S. wants to make sure is met before products leave the United States. Because you're going to have stuff in limbo if you can't meet that import requirement. So it really doesn't make sense in the long run. So it really helps
Okay,
everybody to make sure you meet both requirements on both ends of the spectrum.
all right. So the USDA helps Jamaica meet those the Jamaica requirements.
Well, they let me not overspeak, but they more than likely make sure they want to make sure before it can leave. Yes, they make sure it meets the destination import requirements.
And this person that is sourcing the animals for you, they have to understand this and they have to work with the US
Absolutely,
and they have to work
absolutely,
with the USDA to make sure all the boxes are
absolutely.
ticked.
Because it's not going to go anywhere if it doesn't meet their requirements.
Okay. All right. So now let's talk about once you source this person and you're confident this person can handle, sourcing the animals, housing the animals, getting the testing and vaccinations done, everything. Now you do the application.
Yes. You do the application, and actually, why I'm a little bit distracted, guys. I'm still trying to bring up the page for the application, and I'm still having technical
The
difficulties.
website.
No, it's just linking it so it can go online here. I'm trying to do, give me one, keep talking. Let me try to do, because I found,
Do you have a PDF form or something?
yes, but okay, hold on here. Let me do this. Let me, I brought up something that's totally in the middle of my
Okay, here's
screen.
a
I need,
question. How would you say it's a ratio with the cost of the animal and the additional cost for everything else to get it to your farm? Hmm. We're gonna get through that. We're gonna go through that. Give me a second, Mr. Henry.
yeah, I found
Into
some
we're gonna dig into
screenshots
that.
that I think I can put up here. I just gotta find them. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I was
Um,
trying to do this
let's
before.
just give Trudy a minute. But the costing, Mr. Henry, is, as we said off the top, budgeting how much you want to spend on an animal
Mhm.
actually will dictate what your overall cost is, because you have to pay, um, you got to pay taxes on the animals coming into Jamaica. So if you have expensive animals, your tax is going to be more. So, but as I say, you have a ratio or whatever it is. So we try to break it down once you get a chance to bring up a document.
I'm
Any luck?
hold on, trying. I gotta do some other extra stuff here. Keep talking.
And then Sancho, yeah, and you have to group up and venture into this animal importation. Well, you know what I mean? I think I think now that we're getting to a place where the process is maybe standardized or normalized, whichever word you want to use, I think farmers grouping their resources can make this a regular thing. You know, it's not the way it looked before. Like when people were talking about importing animals a year ago, 2 years ago, it was like a foreign concept because it seemed so far fetched, or the chances of it happening is next to nil because of how the system was set up. But now we see the changes. We see these guys showcasing animals that came into the country in the last 6 months or whatever it is on a regular basis.
Okay, everything I'm trying to do is not working today.
Okay, okay. Let's just talk about.
Not
Let's just
working.
talk.
I
Let's
am
talk it.
sorry, guys.
Okay, let's talk it through. Let's talk through
Okay,
what we're talking
so
about.
yeah, let me pull it up on my side so I can see it and tell you guys. I'm very sorry, guys, because I really wanted to show you this, but it's not cooperating with me today. Not. Okay, so where is my form that I was using? Oh my goodness. Quite a night tonight. Anyway, I can kind of go from the top of my head to I've done this enough times that I can remember what all I saw. Okay, so several different things. Okay, I found exactly what I'm looking for finding. All right, so the website is moatrade.gov. And like any other
Can
application
you
or any
copy and
other
paste? Can you copy and paste it in the text
anywhere.
in the chat?
Oh, moatrade.gov, yeah, I can do that. Oh, you mean the link? Okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
Hold
Can you
on.
paste the link in the chat?
Mm-hmm. I can do that. So you guys see how much work this is? That's fine. All right, let me do it right here. moatrade.gov. Okay, so there it is, guys. moatrade.gov. I can't. I'm having a lot of technical difficulties today, but we're going to make it through. All right. So, with any other website, you go in, you create your sign on. Once you create your sign on, then you'll see it's the second option down. It will say apply for a permit. Apply for, I think, an animal permit. It says a veterinary services permit. That's actually what it says. Apply for a veterinary services permit. Then the very first page that it brings you to after you do that, I'm really disappointed that I cannot show this to you guys.
Okay. So can I? Let me see if I can go into it and do it. Stick a pin through it.
You don't have my username and password.
I don't know, but it doesn't mean that I can. What is it? MOA?
moatrade.gov. MOA
MO,
stands for Ministry of Agriculture.
MOA trade
.gov.
.gov.jm.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so then,
You want to show
um,
everybody your screen? You can take us off and show everybody your screen. No, I think you have to keep us up, but
yeah.
yeah, there you go. All right. So Very good. You're not my new assistant. All right. So once you have to, like I said, create a username and password once you first get in there. But you don't have a username and password, so you can't go any further to show them anything else.
Why don't you give me a username and password?
I don't know what it is. Okay, let's see here. It is. Um, hmm, I gotta find the password.
Um,
This is
we're
so
trying here.
funny.
Judy wants to give you guys so much information.
I did. I'm so disappointed. Okay, hold on. All right. Okay. Okay, there you go.
All right. Well, we'll see if this works.
Let's see if it works. Did you do it?
Is that it? Am I in?
No, I don't see the unit username. It says invalid. Did you put the right password in there?
No, I'm sure I did. Let's try this again.
Oh, you know what else? It doesn't like Safari. It doesn't. It prefers Chrome, but try it anyway.
So I mean, I have to go to Chrome.
Yeah. I was all psyched to do this. Can it work?
Doesn't work.
Okay, never mind. We tried. Maybe
Okay.
we'll have to reschedule just walking through the application part. But anyway,
Yeah.
guys, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. But anyway, I'll talk you through the information that you're gonna have to fill in. So you have to go in. You have to fill in what country the animals are going to be shipped from. So the country of export is going to be, of course, you do the drop down menu and you click U.S. It also wants to know where is it's called the consignor, which is the shipper, the person that's shipping it to you. They want to know where that person's from. Then you also click, do the drop down menu, click US for that as well. And then you'll also see initially where you can select the animals. So you type in the name of an animal, you hit search, and then you'll see if that animal's name is listed. So Boers are listed, Sanins are listed, Nubians are listed, Kikos are listed, and in this whole process, two breeds that we were interested in were not in the system. And I
Okay.
actually,
Yeah. 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 Trudy, let's give them. Let's give you your props on this one.
well, no, no. So I just wanted to know that if an animal that you're interested in importing is not listed, you can actually send a request and ask them to add it.
Yeah. Trudy
And
got them to add Alpine and
Nigerian dwarf.
Nigerian dwarf.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay.
It's
So
kind of
don't go.
surprising that they didn't have.
Yeah, and they didn't have a problem. They just said, "Hey, send a request," and they looked at it. I don't even know what they did in the background. It's just it took a little bit. It maybe took maybe 2 weeks, maybe to add it to be
Yeah.
added. So it took a little bit of time. Of course, they had to take it back and have that discussion, I guess, and see if it's okay. And then whenever they approved it, they message me and say, "Hey, it's added to the system," and I can go in and actually import. Not just me, anybody can go in and actually import those animals. So all that to say, if there's a breed of animal that you would like to import that is not listed, you can actually send a request and ask them if they are willing to add it. Okay. After you select again, you have to pick, for example, Boer females and then Boer male. Oh, here's the other thing. They're gonna have three options: breeding, rearing, or other. And you want to list for breeding because the breeding animals are actually duty free. Now, let me be clear. Even though it's duty free, you're still going to have some destination charges to pay. but that's going to minimize your cost, right? It's going to reduce how much you have to pay out. So make sure you pick the one that's for breeding. If it's just for rearing, there's a duty amount on it. I didn't memorize the amount. I don't remember what it is. And then it's for other than breeding or rearing, then there's going to be duty implications on that. Okay. So definitely select the one that says breeding. Um, so you pick the breed, you pick male breeding, you pick the okay, Boer, male breeding, Boer, female breeding, list all the animals that you want. Okay, now when you get into the application, after you've selected all of them, then you get into the application section itself. It's just one page. It's not hard at all, guys. It's going to issue an application number. You're also going to have to, first of all, you're going to see two different colors of fields to fill in. They're either going to be like a greenish color or a yellowish color. Green, if it's green, it's mandatory, meaning you have to put it in. If it's yellow, it's just reviewing only, right? So the fields that you have to put in is you have to put in your taxpayer registration details. What's your TRN? So if you're doing it as a person, it's going to be your personal TRN. Okay. The TCC, like I said, it was an optional field, but we went ahead and filled that in. A big thing that you have to be aware of is your arrival date, which gets a little bit tricky because the validation of the permit is only 3 months. So you have to be able to, so that's why we're talking about all the stuff up front that you want to do first, because you want to, when you put your application in, then you're going to only have a 3-month window to make sure you gather all your animals, can meet all the requirements for it to be shipped and in Jamaica for that specific date. Or I should say within reason, because anything can happen, right? So within reason of that date that you say is your estimated arrival date. So that's a tricky date to coordinate. That took us quite a bit to coordinate that date, okay? The second area that you're going to fill in, I should say really the third area on the form, is the consignee information, which is you, the person that is coming to, your name, your address, where you're located, telephone number, fax number, if you have an email information. And then beside that, you also fill in again the consignor, which is the person that's shipping the goods to you. You fill in their information, their name, address, all their contact information, and email. The next section on the form is where you put the item details. And guys, I'm so disappointed that you can't do it. I don't know, maybe next week we'll try to get it back up on something and then move on to something else. But anyway, the item detail information, that's where all your animals are gonna be listed. Your respective, again, Boer female, Boer male, Nubian female, Nubian male, because you have to break it out like that. And then actual tariff classification, which if you guys need help with that, I can help you with that. That's not a big deal. Like I said, just make sure you pick the one that says they are for breeding purposes. Okay, fill that in. Then you go across the page. You put how much if you're counting, right? How much of that one animal. So if it's Boer male, am I bringing in 2 of those? So you put that in. Again, the unit of quantity is animals, not ampules, because I kept messing that up and I don't know why. I just, again, trying to get stuff done too quickly and I kept messing that up. So it's animals. Then you also have to list the country of origin. And then going over from there, again, you estimate the weight of the 2 animals in this case, or the weight of the 5 animals, or the weight of the number of animals in that particular group. All right. And then at the bottom is a section where you can put some comments, but you really don't have to. We went ahead and put some comments down there. You really don't have to. And those are the main areas of the data elements. It's guys, it's not hard. It's not. And that's one of the reasons we wanted to get on, is to let you guys know, don't be scared. I know when you think government, we think, oh my gosh, it's going to be really hard and tricky to deal with. Let's put it this way. So far, so good. We have not had any issues. And we wanted to definitely share that with you guys. So, sorry, maybe next week we can come back on and actually show them this page, because I think it will help a lot. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I think if we can do a work through the document, the application document, so people have visuals of what it looks like and how to navigate it, that'll be very helpful. Unfortunately, the technical issue. I know that website is slow to begin with. It's like any other government website. It's very slow to navigate, but the people on the back end are very responsive, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So as for the type of animals, so the popular Jamaican animals again on the sheet,
Yes.
except for Alpine. I don't know how comes Alpine is so popular in Jamaica and it's not listed. But truly got them to do it. Truly
Guys,
got
it was
them to
guys,
add.
let me be clear. It was no special magic, trust me. It was just like, can you do this? Are you guys
Why don't
willing
you
to look
just
at this?
why
And
don't
they
you
said
just take
yes.
the
So
props? Right?
no special magic here.
Just take the props, man. Just like it's a
Okay,
you
thank you.
you
No,
single-handedly
but
change the goat sector in Jamaica by having them add Alpine and Nigerian dwarf as an import option.
yes.
That's so
But
I
I
look at
also
it.
want everybody to realize that it's not hard. That's why I keep saying, don't think I did anything special. That's the only reason I keep saying that. I want everybody to realize that they can actually do the same thing.
Yeah, I think that's the big part of doing this today, right now, is to let people know it is not a scary thing. It, I thought
I
when
thought
I
so.
was talking to people years ago, 2 years ago, I thought this was gonna be some, you know, jumping through hoops, red tapes, all this stuff to get this done. But it's just a matter of being diligent and cross your T's, dot your I's, and go do the application.
Mhm.
Like anything else, just be prepared, do what's needed, and you're good to go. Let me see if I can answer any questions before we move along. Um, so, are there any insurance in case of any unforeseen events? I think that's a good time to jump into the, the different categories on the US side, truly.
Okay.
So I'll run through some of these things that I see on our document.
Hmm.
I can't show this document because of people's confidentiality and the people we're working with in the US. There's information is all over this document. So I can't show it, but I can run through the different stuff that they have listed here, right?
Hmm.
So first up is the animals, right? The different type of animals that they have to fight, they have to source, and and they give you an approximate quote on the pricing based on your budget, right? And there'll be some people will be realistic and telling you, yo, this is what you get for that number, or they can do better, or you know, if you're dealing with somebody who's experienced and really want to take care of you, they'll tell you that. So the next thing up is the export facility, like the quarantine facility. So
Export testing.
yeah, so that means they have to do all the testings. They have to test for all these different diseases, blue tongue, TB, abortus, all these other diseases they have to test for, and all of this happen at the quarantine export facility, right? The export quarantine facility. That's the right term. And there's a cost that goes with that. And I think it's like 110 US dollars per annum.
That's an estimate.
That's an estimate
Hmm.
for to do all these tests. It's not per test; it's per animal to do all these tests per animal, right? And then there's deworming of these animals. There's deworming of these animals.
That has to be done twice.
Yeah.
Hmm. They have to do get fecal count and fecal egg analysis on them. Hmm.
Um, so they have to do that, and there's also a fee per animal for that. because they have to bring in, they have to get all the deworming and all that stuff, right? And then
Yes. Yes.
so it depends on the pricing of those medication and those dewormers at the time too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a vet charge. A USDA health inspector has to come and do an
Yeah.
inspection and give you an approved health papers to say the animals are healthy, right?
Yes. So that's
So
that's you need a vet in order to create the documents to meet
mhm,
USDA requirements, U.S.
yeah,
Department of Agriculture requirements.
okay.
Hmm.
And then there's the export facility expense in wherever city they're flying over.
Yeah, because they have to be quarantined in the U.S. for a time period before they're actually put on a flight.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, when we talk about Jamaica, there's another quarantine section in Jamaica
So
as well.
how long they quarantine for in the US? 15 days?
In the U.S.,
Hmm.
if I remember, it's less than a week. I need to verify that time frame. I honestly don't remember, but I think it was less than a week.
Okay,
I
we'll
need to double check.
confirm that.
Guys, don't hold me to that. I don't remember. I'm going to be honest. I don't
I
remember.
thought it was 10 to 15 days.
I don't remember. Oh, you know what? It says it right here. No, 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 no. That's a different. That's a quarantine in Jamaica. Um, guys, I don't. We don't remember for sure. We're gonna have to double check. I don't remember what the date time frame was for that.
Well, when I spoke to the guy, he
Hmm.
says total quarantine is about 30 days.
Okay, so if it's total 30 days, that means almost 2 weeks in the U.S. and 2 weeks in Jamaica, which makes
Yeah,
sense. Okay,
yeah,
okay, I get it now. That makes sense.
yeah. The total quarantine is about 30 days. But I think it's,
That makes sense.
yeah. And then there's the transportation of the animals. You got to remember, if the person is sourcing the animals from different farms, then they have to transport the animals, group them, and then transport them to the quarantine facility in order for them to be exported. If they're all coming from one farm, then transportation may be less. But if they have to come from different farms, then you got to factor that
Mm-hmm.
in, you know. And then there's the air freight, which at this stage can go up or down based on the price of gas,
Let's
right?
keep it up. It keeps going up.
Yeah, yeah. It just keep
It's
going.
gone down yet.
Never seem to come back down.
Uh,
Yeah, and then so you also have to hire a company that takes care of the actual shipping, what
the
they
freight
call a
forwarding
freight
company.
forwarding company. What is a freight forwarding company, Julie?
A freight forwarding company is an organization that facilitates the movement of goods. So they coordinate picking up the goods, they coordinate the actual air transportation, and possibly the arrival at the destination country, depending on what you ask them to do for you. So it could be that the person that you're working with that's actually sourcing the animals for you already has a relationship with a freight forwarding company. And just to remember, not every freight forwarding company, one, goes to the Caribbean, and two, handles animals. So you have to make sure that they're not going to take it anyway if they don't handle animals. But more than likely, it would be great. Let's put it this way: it would be awesome if the person that you're working with has some kind of relationship with a freight forwarder to help coordinate that end of the aspect, that end of the transportation for you.
Because dealing with animals is a specialty.
Oh
You
yes,
don't need somebody who really
oh
understands.
yes. Hmm.
Can't afford to just say, yeah man, we'll put them in a box and send them
It's
off.
a whole different ball game.
And so a freight forwarder that handles animals, their rate may be higher than a regular freight forwarder
Mainly yes, because of all the
because it is
additional
special
requirements it takes to handle
special
animals.
handling.
Special handling.
Yeah. Okay. Um, so there you have it, folks. Those are the different aspects, additional things
Mm-hmm.
you have to keep in mind separate from the actual cost of
Mm-hmm.
the animal. And then the person that you're asking to do all this, they're gonna have an admin fee, right?
Probably. Yeah,
Yeah, they're
for their
gonna have,
services.
yeah,
Yes.
they're gonna have an admin fee on top of all this to make it work because they're gonna have to be doing a lot of running around, a lot of phone calls, a lot of,
Mm-hmm.
you know, coordinating. So
Yeah.
you got to keep all that in mind. But
Mm-hmm.
once you talk to somebody who knows about this stuff, who does these things, they will definitely lay it out for
Mm-hmm.
you. They'll let you know what all the different costs are going to be, and you can tailor your thing accordingly. You know, um, and keep in mind that the price of animals can go from $400 to 4,000, 5,000, 20,000 dollars. You know, and let's talk about the insurance too, because that was that was brought us into this. How does the insurance work?
Okay, so it's always advisable if I'm trying to find the insurance question. Can you find it?
Oh, the insurance question was, are the animals insured?
Okay.
So as a,
All right. So I don't know if Sanjay, you can clarify for me. Are you talking about just, I hate to say, just regular insurance on the animal itself or insurance for the animal and transportation to get it to Jamaica? Okay. Either way, regardless of how much or what kind of insurance that you're thinking about, you have to ask for it. If you don't ask for it, you're not going to get it. So if you want the animal itself insured as well as the transportation to get it to the Jamaica, that's usually advisable. Just that in the event anything happens, because let's face it, we're dealing with live species, live animals, they could die. Not hopefully, definitely not all of them, but you never know. One or two of them might die just because of, you know, I hate to say nature's choice, but anyway, just because of handling or whatever happened, then something happened in that transportation. So I would really strongly encourage you to get insurance. How about that? But you have to ask for it. It's not a given. You have to ask for it.
yeah, and the insurance is based on the value of the
The value
animal.
of the animal.
Okay. And Mr. Henry is an insurance guy. He may have some idea
Yeah,
how we
Mr.
can do
Henry,
this
jump.
thing.
Oh, see, he said exactly. Thank you.
Yeah. Um, so if you're gonna purchase animals, and
Okay.
that's where it comes in where the
Here's
cost
here's
goes up.
another good note. Here's another good note. Can you read that for me? It's a good
It's a
idea.
good idea, I think, to check with the entity shipping your animal and ask them if they
Cargo
carry
insurance.
cargo insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Absolutely. Definitely. Thanks, Maximilian.
See, so we got that. That's I'm telling you, man.
We got all kinds of experts. We love
Our
it.
iGoat people, them know what's going on.
Yes.
They know
Yes.
what's up, and
Uh-huh.
that's why we talk about this stuff because we can't be scared of going after this stuff, thinking it's only the quote unquote big man them or whatever people that can do this. Two or three farmers can pool their resources and bring in some animals. You
Mm-hmm.
know, based on our experience, a crate can take maybe
25
25 to
animals?
30 animals, depends on
Mm-hmm.
the size of the animal. So, like when TJ they come in, that's one crate of animals. But TJ them shipment for 28 animals, that's one crate, and it's worth it if you can pull a crate. So you
Mm-hmm.
can, do a one crate of animals, then you can pool with three people and split up the cost and make it happen. All right, where we are now.
Jamaica import process?
Jamaica import process.
Okay. So This is kind of high level because we haven't really dug into that part very deeply just yet, but we know enough to let you know that one of the things we had to do with the VSD is, along with telling her again when, remember I talked about that estimated arrival date? That's a key date because you need that quarantine facility in Jamaica for at least 14 days. And apparently, I don't know how big or how many animals it can accommodate, but it's has its limitations. Let's put it that way. So what they have to do is coordinate your estimated arrival time with any other imports that are coming around. And it's not just goat. There's horse. There's all kind of animals that are constantly being imported in Jamaica. So they have to coordinate your arrival time and the time frame that you're gonna have your animals there with all the other imports. So that's a bit of coordination there. It's not hard. She just lets you know. But this is what she gave me. She said, "I have this time frame open and this time frame open." And if because the original time frame that we were asking for was not, yeah, horse people use it also. The original time frame that we were asking for was not available, so she was giving me the options either before or after that. And the other thing you need to be clear on is how many animals are you importing? Okay. Again, because of the size of the facility. And so they need to know, do they need all of the facility for all of your animals or just part of the facility for your animals? So again, you have to be very clear on the number of animals that you're actually bringing in.
And and you can go over the number on the permit, but you can go under.
Yes, you can't go over. So let's say you're bringing in 5 male boers. You cannot bring 6 in, but you can bring 4 in. Okay? So you can always go under the number that's on your permit. You can never go over. So just be very, very aware of
And
that.
you can't cross. So you can't say, okay, I'm not gonna bring 10 Nubians, so might as well I use that extra animal on the board. No,
No,
have
you
to be
can't. It's per animal,
in per
per
group, yeah,
breed,
per
per
gender.
sex, whether
Okay,
male or female. Yeah,
okay,
yeah. So yeah, you can't say, okay, I don't have 5 of this, so I'm gonna put 6 over here. No, you have to, whatever within that category, you have to stay within that category count.
okay.
Hmm.
Um, so so what happens now once you have the facility booked and the animals come in? What happens there, and what expenses is expected of you? What
Okay,
animals go on?
so expenses include you have to move the animals from the actual port of arrival, the actual airport, to the quarantine facility. It's not far, but you still have to move them, as well as you have to provide bedding and feed for them. So there will be a team of, I don't even know how many people work there, but there is going to be a group or team or a person or whatever that's actually going to take care of your animals for you, but you have to provide the bedding and the feed and anything that's required for that animal while they're in quarantine.
Okay, and do you have access to the animals as the importer?
I don't know. Do we? I think you do. Yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah. No?
no.
No? Okay.
I was told you don't have access. You can see to make sure they're okay, but you cannot go in and pet or do all that stuff.
Okay. See, that's why we're both on there. Some answers I know and some answers you know.
Yeah, yeah, and
Okay.
which to me makes sense
Mm-hmm.
because the animals are in quarantine, and you
Yes.
can't just go in and bring stuff in there or bring stuff out. That's gonna contaminate the process.
Very true. Very true.
You know.
Hmm. Right. And
Mhm.
of course, because it's an import transaction, you will have to use a customs broker to actually do the customs entry for you. So I'm not even going to go into that detail. Just get a customs broker.
And it's a question: is the local quarantine cost a flat fee?
I don't know. I honestly don't know that
That's
answer.
true because nobody ever talked to us about the fee to use the
No.
facility.
But you think there would be because there are going to be people that are taking care of your animals. So I think there's a fee. I just don't know what it is. I would think that it would have to be a fee. I don't know what it
So we
is though.
still got more work to do. We
Yes.
still see iGoat family keeping us honest. We got questions
We
and we
have
got
more
to
work
go
to
to
do.
these people and ask. Well,
Hmm.
we're halfway through the process
Mhm.
of this. So there's other aspects of it that we still gotta experience and learn about. I know we gotta do the bedding, we have to provide the feed, um, and we have to get a local broker
Mhm.
to process the paperwork, right?
Yes.
That's an additional fee.
Yes. That's an additional fee, but it's worth it.
And it's worth it. You say we can't just look at the paperwork and say, yo, we can file this ourselves.
Probably not. That's a whole nother discussion. Let's not go there tonight.
So let's play devil's advocate. Let's
Mhm.
say me and Mr. Henry is doing
Mhm.
a thing. Mr.
Mhm.
Henry is a smart guy.
Mhm.
I know a thing or two about reading.
Mhm.
You're telling me that me and Mr. Henry can look at the paperwork and say, yo, we know how we can who we can go to and who to go file these things with, and make it happen.
So you're trying to tell me that you and Mr. Henry is going to take the time to go down to the customs office and talk with a customs agent who really probably doesn't want to spend the time with you and try to figure out what documents you need to complete in order to do that filing, and actually giving them the right classification and paying the right duties and the taxes and all the destination fees.
I don't know why you're making this sound so hard.
I'm not. I'm just asking straightforward questions.
Hey, I'm just being a typical Jamaican. Like,
You can do
yo,
it, right?
yeah, like, yo, we can do this. We can make this happen, Bertrand.
Well,
Why am I have to pay you that?
Mr. Henry's game seems to say, yeah, plan a trip.
Yeah, hear that? You say God go with you, though. You say God go with you, though.
Thank you, Natty.
Well,
Thank
you know, when you go
you.
to Jamaica, Mr. Henry say, yo, there's certain things you have to know in Jamaica. You have to have a man at the bank, you have to have a man at customs, and they say, yeah, you just have a man over customs. They say, yo, you have them thing here go on, where you say, lines, work it out for me now.
Okay, iGoat family, that is not what I'm recommending. Do not listen to Ray.
Hey, Howard say he's a custom broker.
But he's only valid for the Bahamas.
So he must say the entry stuff is not that difficult.
Okay, go right ahead.
Really, I don't like how you say how you make it.
Go ahead.
I don't know, it's just goats.
It's just goats. I know.
Hmm.
I know. Go ahead.
Nobody cares.
See, I don't know. I need to tell Howard. You and I are gonna have a chit chat offline. I want to talk to Howard offline. But anyway,
Okay.
a
Um,
broker is licensed. There are some things you can't do by law.
I don't know what that means, Leon.
You don't know what that means?
No.
Well, okay.
A broker is licensed. There are some things you can't do by law.
I think
There's,
who depends on
that's
who
just a.
he's calling the you. Is he calling you as the importer, or is he calling you the
Is he
broker? I don't know.
saying? Is he saying custom brokers are held to a certain
They're like
standard?
a lawyer. Thank you very much, Leon. I don't even know why we're down this path right now. Moving right along. If it is so hard to clear a barrel, take a whole day to clear a barrel.
Okay.
We have digressed. We need to get back to the topic. Leon's going to share the Customs Act with you.
Hey, I see them break the custom act all the time, Leon.
Okay, but that's not the point of this discussion today.
I'm just trying to help my people out. That's all I'm trying to do.
Uh,
That's all I try to do. I try to help the liquor man out. Liquor man,
guys, for the record, Ray knows all these answers.
I know, but I'm
Okay,
trying to
I'm
help
just
out.
saying, for the record, Ray knows all these answers.
Us liquor people can't afford
Uh-huh.
these crazy fees that custom brokers charge, especially come around Christmas time when I'm gonna try to eat a food.
Okay, are you talking about using a broker for commercial purposes or for personal
It
purposes?
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you bring
If
in a
it's a, if
barrel.
it's, if it's for commercial purposes. You're a business, so it's a cost of could mark it up to the cost of doing business.
Yeah, we don't run up the cost of doing business. No, it doesn't matter. We Jamaicans, us Jamaicans, don't see it that way, Miss Wilson. The
Okay,
money will come out
go
of
go
our
right.
little pocket.
Okay, go right ahead. So Sanjay has another insurance question.
Mhm.
Are there any? I lost it. Are there
Are there
any
any insurance related to home? Are there any
unforeseen
insurance
events?
as it relates to unforeseen events?
So that would go, and again, Mr. Henry and anybody else jump in anytime here. You really would need to read the policy to see what it covers. So whether it's just an insurance for the goats or definitely for the cargo insurance, you need to see what it covers, and then you also know what it does not cover. So read the fine print is what I would strongly recommend. And if there's something that you want covered that's not listed, ask for it.
And does the insurance also covers um, from point A to point B, like where it is, right? Where
You
you can say the insurance will cover from pick up in the US all the way to the airport in Jamaica or all the way to the quarantine.
to what you ask them to do. So you have to specify from what is a starting point to what is the ending point that the insurance covers.
Okay.
And then remember that every insurance service provider cannot provide all of those requirements, right? Because somebody might have representation in the US, but they might not have a counterpart in Jamaica to actually take care of it.
Okay. Mr. Thing says, Mr. Henry says insurance generally cover the value of goods ship up to a value, and some cover different rates.
Well,
Not to
basic
discuss
coverage is the value of the goods plus 10%, and you can ask for more.
the value of the goods plus 10%.
Mhm.
What? What do you mean? So if I'm shipping this thing, this I'm
If
paying
your goat
all,
is, if your goats cost $100,
I can insure $110. And
that's
what
the
is the
minimum.
purpose? What's the reason of that?
That's the minimum requirement. That's just marine cargo insurance. That's a minimum requirement
Marine cargo.
to cover cargo transportation.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm like, I'm not putting on a ship. Take too long.
Even though it's called marine, it's for air transportation as well. Sorry, it's a misnomer. I didn't name it.
Hey, for the record, guys, we're talking to a import export.
Hello. You
What they
really have to
call
go
it?
down that
What
road?
they call you? Specialist, guru. Yeah, import export, U.S. import and export compliance guru. So I always have all the crazy questions to ask her because I have an idea of importing and exporting agricultural pharmaceutical products, and I want to know how I can get it done. Yeah. So, all right, where we are now? Where we are now, Miss Wilson?
I think we've covered all the points we had noticed because we talked about the logistics in and out
Hmm.
as we went through the presentation. So I think we've pretty much covered most of the bases. I think what we should do is go back and ask and see if there are any questions that we missed. It's
Okay,
probably.
back to the ratio question.
Hmm.
Example, if a quote costs 500 for, for all those steps and fees, would you say it can cost an additional $1,000?
Oh,
Yes and
that's
no,
yeah. Yes and no. Yes and no. You're
but
right.
you're pretty close.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Because the variables are usually up on the logistics side. You know what I mean? Like the cost of trucking or transportation and the cost of shipping could change on a whim.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know, so those are the things you got to factor in. So you could very well add 800 to $1,000.
I don't know what that's about.
I don't know what Peter thought about.
I don't know either. But here's a good one from Sanjay. Go ahead, read that one.
Well, if I'm investing so much money, what if the animals die in transit? Insurance, bro.
Yeah, that's what the insurance will cover, Sanjay. The insurance will cover the value. Again, depending on what your policy spells out, it should cover at a minimum the value of the animals. But then
And
I would also recommend that you get transportation coverage as well.
yeah, and that's why it's so important to deal with somebody who know what they're doing
Hmm.
in securing the animals, the quarantine process, and the freight forwarder that actually understands, really understands the shipping process. You know how to package the animals,
Hmm.
make them comfortable, and all that. Like it's not a fly by day, fly by night. You can't call a virgin a fly by. Say, yo, me have two boats for shipping up. It's not one of those guys who, have a little thing and go on and say, yo, we can ship them to you.
So now the question is, which one you see to get the clear funds? Yes, that's an estimate. Yes.
So Mr. Henry says, so now the question is 1,500 US dollars to get it to your farm, which is 232,000 Jamaican dollars. Be sure to know why you're importing and your plan for this animal. That is so true. That
Mm-hmm.
is a sobering statement right there.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna do this, figure out how these animals are actually gonna help your business grow. How are you gonna get the return on this investment in a timely manner? What impact is it gonna have on your business and on the sector? There's people who are importing animals right now and they're doing it in the name of improvement of genetics and all that stuff. But my personal opinion is if you don't have a cluster of these animals, you're really not improving the genetic pool because we all know we don't have any registration going on
Yet.
yet. you know? So if you're into genetics and you really want to bring in some animals to improve your genetic pool, then my suggestion to you is bring a little cluster, a little um, group that you can keep separate from everything else and build out on them. Build out from them because you can't put you can't get $2 from the US, two nice bucks from the US, and put them on the those that you already have in Jamaica that we don't know how diluted they are or what level of pedigree they have. We just going off of what people tell us. If you want to start fresh, keep your integrity of a line that you import, keep them separate. So you get $2, three or four of those that you keep them separate and build out from there. I see that working instead of just bringing $2 and put them in what's already in. To me,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't make logical sense. You know, if you're really trying to improve things, then you have to make a concerted effort to keep the integrity of the lines and the pedigree. Like in a couple of years, it's going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess. Everybody are going to tell us imported goat them myself. Well, them will tell us from such and such imported goat. The Trump whatever survivor thing, it's going to be in the next 2 years. That's going to be the argument. Used to be the X man and the all these different things. It's going in a couple of years. It's going to be the Trump survivor line.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So my suggestion is, if you're serious about this, you group your resources, 3, 4 farmers, and bring in a nucleus herd that you guys can share resources on, whether it's 3 bucks and some females, and you know that you're actually keeping the integrity of that cluster, of that nucleus herd, and everybody work together and share the box and build out. Because for one man to do it as a quote unquote liquor farmer like me, it's expensive. It's a big money. You know what I mean? A big money. You know what I mean? Think about, we know the average cost of this. So think about how much money Damon and his associates spent to bring
Invested.
200 invested. Think
Invested.
about
It's an
how much
investment.
money Damien then invest
Mm.
to bring 200
That
animals
means they're serious.
to Jamaica. Them
They're
people
very,
be
very serious.
dead serious.
Hmm.
This is not a joke thing for them. And they're not playing with no genetics.
Hmm.
They bring in animals that suit their business model. They ain't playing with no genetics thing. They brought animals in that suit their business model. They are gonna breed and produce some meat animals. Animals that grow fast and need more meat to bone ratio, and so they can keep pumping out goat meat. That's the approach you need to take. Forget about the sure goat business and all them things. They ain't not gonna get us nowhere. Now, okay, if you're into genetics, Mr. Eddie, I can tell you right now, the nice box, minimum $2,000. If you're into genetics and up, I'm saying minimum, because I saw a couple last week. That's like about, it was $2,200 to be honest. But the ones that really got us excited was like 4,000, 5,000,
7,000.
7,000. It's like, yo.
Whoa.
And these are bucklings. You know what I mean? Like the mature buck that was on that auction that went, he was at $7,000. Six, he went
Hmm.
for 6,000.
But they've gone up. I've seen up to 14, 15,000 too.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. So they get up
So
there.
so you have to be careful. If money is not a problem, then by all means do what you want to. Yeah, I mean, buy the most expensive, most I was sure the offsprings are them be. I can tell you guys right now, I'm lobbying that no imported goat goes to them. You know, born on the island don't go to them.
But they're offsprings, yes.
The offspring should go. If you're
Okay.
born at Jamaica, you're entitled to go to them. But if you get imported from foreign, you can only go to them as a showcase.
So it's not just a show thing. Have a plan.
Yeah, have a real plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Have a real plan. I think anybody getting into genetics in Jamaica on that level, they got to start thinking about the region for it to make sense.
Hmm.
You know, our friend Mackie, that he's been talking about that for years. He wants to conquer the region, you know, and that's the only way to look at it. Little bit of Jamaica can't really support that kind of investment.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Because think about the cost, the price you have to put on these animals. Like, you know what I mean? The price you have to put on these animals for it to really make sense. These bucklings are selling for 2, 3 thousand US dollars. It's crazy. So there you go. That is my little 2 cents. That's how I see it. If you really want to do this, I think not everybody is going to be successful at what do you call it, genetics, breeders, top breeder. But everybody in Jamaica that's in goat business can have a little meat operation. You know what I mean? And you can get breed, commercial growers or whatever for meat operation, just like what Damien and them did in the
Mhm.
300, 400, 500 range, and you can build out for that. And those animals are head and shoulders above the animals that are currently circulating in Jamaica. When it comes to meat production, I'm talking about, not genetics. We're not talking about horn set and top line and length and back end. And I'm just talking about how fast the animal grow, how much meat to bone we get. Because we're talking about producing meat. And these animals are way better at that. So that's my 2 cents. And I think that's it. I think we have to do another session on the
Okay.
actual application
Yeah.
so people can get a better understanding of it. Or if they go to the website and register and try to go through it, they may be able to figure it out. If you
Hmm.
have any questions, we here. And I think if you find this information valuable, please share it with people. Let them take the time to watch, you know, because knowledge is power. And all we're trying to do is to share it with people. And I don't know about Trudy, but I'm taking a fee as a consultation to help people. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. First of all, I need to go through it so we know what help they're gonna provide. But no, we're willing to
Yeah, we're willing
you
to
know
help.
answer some questions and help people understand the process so
Mhm.
it's not this big scary monster. Question, Mr. So you might really after me spend a million, I have to put them back on shelf and look at everything. Farmers register, write your business plan. You know what you're about. Yeah, it's we've been preaching this. People just need to take this serious. You know what I mean? Take this serious and you can reap the benefits from it.
Mhm.
Don't watch that what the next man doing. Just stick to your plan and don't be scared to make changes. Don't be scared to pivot if something ain't working for you. Don't be scared to pivot in a different direction that you find will work better. You know what I mean? Like we know from jump that they going to Tembi and then think they're not gonna work food. You know how that they kind of, you know, no sir.
Mhm.
See, oh, it's a earn the fee. Yeah, telling you, man and man's around here know what we're talking about. Hey, oh, hey, I piggyback and ride on through this coattail when it comes to these
I'll give you a
health
percentage.
logistics things or whatever. Yeah, I just ride her coattail. She definitely knows her stuff when it comes to that. So hey, let me give you guys a joke. And
Uh-oh.
this is real thing. This is real experience. I'm giving you guys an inside joke on me and Trudy's our relationship. Trudy and I 2 years ago, 3 years ago,
Mhm.
we're working on getting this vehicle to Jamaica. I take it upon myself. I'm like, yo, I'm the man down here. I'm going to do all this. I'm going to source. I'm going to go through all this stuff. And I going through it, figuring out source. First, we try to locate thing in Jamaica that we figure out, yo, might as well we try to bring the vehicle. I went through this. call people up late at night, 4 o'clock in the morning, talking to people on the other side of the world. I got all the information. I presented to Trudy. I said, yo, this is what we're looking at. Here, I got Trudy, who is an import export specialist. And Trudy sat there for weeks and let me struggle with the terminologies and the right questions. I go through all this and I said, okay, here's what I got. She looked at it and she's like, how come you didn't ask XYZ? You didn't ask CIF, you didn't ask CFI, you didn't ask all these acronyms and all these stuff. I don't have the answers to. And she's asking me, you don't have any of this. I'm like, so you knew all along that I need to have all of this, and you just let me go through the process? You didn't give me not even a hint. You didn't like say, yo, make sure you get XYZ. You let me go through all this, and at the end, you tell me I don't have them. That was when I learned that some things you leave to the experts. She let me go through it, the whole thing, and all along she knew that there's certain important questions that need to be answered, and she don't say nothing to me. She let me go through it and waste my time. Yes, Peter, yes, she let me waste my time. Let me waste my time. Me learn a valuable lesson. Yeah.
Is it only a valuable lesson, or did you learn more in
Yes, I
general? It was a learning experience.
for who?
You.
Yeah, one thing I learned is that when it comes to that kind of stuff, it's all on you. So what I learned, it's gonna be like, oh, so you know exactly what's going on.
Okay.
But yeah, so with that said, folks, Trudy is a specialist, and I write a reporting on this stuff. So if you have any questions about this stuff, please feel free to ask me, and I will go to her. And no, 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 I'm just kidding. Yeah, we'll try to help. Yeah, I'll squeeze it in somewhere when in between her meetings and say, yo, you know what I mean? John don't have a question, you know, what you think? Yeah.
The teachable moment.
Yeah,
Yes,
it
Mr.
was.
Henry. It was a teachable moment.
Yeah, the best way to learn, yes, is go through it hardcore.
Yes, Howard, the best way to learn.
Yeah, I learned very much, a lot. Through that process, I learned a lot. And
Uh-huh.
one thing I've learned is just like this import thing, certain things are not as scary as people make them out to be.
Mhm.
It only becomes scary when people try to circumvent the system. When a man try to cut corners and don't have the right documentation,
Mhm.
or they're not qualified, or they don't try to, that's when it becomes hard. You know what I mean? Jamaica, I think, create these systems and these red tapes and stuff because of so much corruption.
Mhm.
But at the end, if you just make sure your I's are dotted, T's are crossed, sometimes it just flows.
Mhm.
All right, well, are we bidding a farewell for the night?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Henry. Most things are not as scary. Fear is in your head. Just jump
True.
out there and try.
Yeah.
Just do it like Nike.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you guys for being here. And, you know, it's been a few weeks we haven't done iGo chat. And thank you all for being so supportive. Thank you guys for
And
being
patient.
loyal and patient with us. And we
Mhm.
will try to, you know, keep doing what we have to do to bring you guys some information
Yes.
and try to be more consistent. And we had to be tough. Sometimes the schedule with the other life doesn't permit, but we try our best. All right. And
Thank you,
thank
guys.
you.
We appreciate you guys. We love you guys, and hopefully we'll see you next week.
Yeah. And
Everybody have a phenomenal week.
yeah.
Thank
And
you.
and now it's Christmas season, so everybody's gearing up.
Balance. Balance is good. That's right. Balance is
Mhm.
good. All
All
right,
right.
everybody.
Have a good one.
All right. Good night.
Good night.